I've always been curious about how much money YouTubers actually make. I've watched so many videos, but most of them are by people with millions of subscribers and make like six figures each month, so I didn't know what to expect when I uploaded all of my MSI interviews. So in this video, I thought it'd be cool if I shared with you guys all of my stats from viewership and how much money I made during MSI. And to be honest, from what I've seen from small YouTubers, this is way more than what most people make. As you can see, for the majority of my YouTube channel, I actually wasn't even monetized and wasn't able to earn any money. It was only until February where I actually made my first few dollars. My first day was $12, so I was pretty surprised. But this was around the LCS Spring Split, so this is way before MSI. MSI is over here. You can kind of see that MSI really took off in terms of money made. So if all you care about is actually how much I made during MSI, well, this is MSI, started on May 1st and ended May 19th. And you can see the beginning wasn't that hot. The ending wasn't that hot because all the North American teams were knocked out. And I realized that when G2 and Team Liquid and Fnatic are there, more people care than when, and obviously T1 versus Gen G and BLG weren't really that great. But the total I made was about $240. This is not including taxes, obviously, because I have to sort of pay the taxes for myself. So you take kind of like 30% of that, which is about $72. Give or take. So in total, I made about 170-ish, 160 to 170 after taxes. But what's really cool is you can kind of see how the first couple days, viewership and how much money you make kind of go hand in hand, but I didn't really make much. First day I made $1.60. Second day I made $1.75. The third day though, it jumped up to like almost $18, $17.97. You can kind of see this is the day where I Inspired lost to T1, and a lot of people watched that. I had a Zeus interview. A lot of people watched that as well. And then I had a Jun interview, which I don't think many people actually watched. So that's mainly where that comes from. Next day I make $8.47, $7.91, and then it shoots up to $30 on the 6th. This is the day where I upload like 8 interviews, if I'm not mistaken, with 8 different players. I had a Yon interview, I had a Dylan Falco interview, I had a G2 Mickey interview, I had a BLG On, Genji Lahens, T1 Guma, Fnatic Noah, and Razork. Looks like when you upload a bunch of videos that are really cool and high quality, people watch and you make money. Next few days, $19 in a day is still amazing. I know people who are usually my size, $19 is like more than you make in a month. So the fact that I'm making this much in a day is already really cool. It goes back down and then it starts climbing back up as things get more tens for North America and for Europe. $23 here. I think it was the Caps interview that really did it. You can kind of see here, actually, that was one of my second highest paid interview was that Caps interview. So out of the $23 I made, 16 of it was just Caps. $19. This is the most I made, right? Yeah, $31. I'm pretty sure it comes from this G2 Romain video. I had a bunch of interviews, like 5 that came out this day, but the G2 Romain one really, in terms of viewership, which I'll show in a little bit, it's the highest viewed interview on my channel, like as a whole, and it did pretty well. After that, G2 kind of got knocked out, TL got knocked out, T1 got knocked out, and you can see the big difference here. Even though I think here is where they kind of got knocked out. And it's $3, $4, $6 for the Gen G BLG, T1 BLG, and then at the end, no one actually watched the final press conferences, or if they did, it didn't do very well. But yeah, that's sort of like where the money was in terms of like a money spread, right? So let's look a little bit more into the channel analytics. This is a breakdown of views and actual money made. You'll see that the Yon interview, despite having half the views of the Caps interview, made almost the same amount of money, which is really interesting. The reason that happens is because of, who's viewing your video and maybe the content of the video, how much advertisers are willing to pay. You can see the amount of money I get per 1,000 views on this one is almost double the Caps interview. So that's kind of why that happens here. There's a video here that says that I get paid $527. That's not true per thousand views. That's just not true. I don't know what that is. But you can see that, inspired video, for example, is where'd it go? There we go. It's not one of my most viewed, but it definitely made a lot of money. I mean, if I sort by views here, you'll see that it's not actually correlated. I got $13,000 views here. This one had 12,000 views, but the Caps one still made more money. I'm assuming because, Western audience might pay a little bit more than the Korean audience. You can kind of see by the RPM over here. But yeah, $15 for 6,000 views, and 7,000 views, $8. It really does vary like that. It's interesting to see. I don't really pay much attention because you can't really control. You can control it, but I'm not in the business of actually trying to control. But when you look at the views, here, you can see the correlation between how much money you make in views and how it spikes on certain days. Like there's a day where I had like 23,000 views in a day. Channels my size don't get this much in like months. This is like your whole year. The fact that I got 23,000, that's crazy. I mean, the entire year, just in videos, I did some lives, I did some shorts, but just in videos, 165,000 views, 1.6 million impressions. That means my click-through rate is about 6%, right? But it looks more like 10%, but numbers add up that way. 1.6 million impressions is an insane amount. So the difference between a view and impression, in case you don't know, a view is someone who actually clicked and watched some portion of the video. Impression is someone who saw it on their page, right? So when you open up YouTube, you see a bunch of titles and thumbnails. If one of my videos, it was one of these videos during MSI, was one of those videos that popped up on your YouTube For You page, that's an impression. And the click-through rate is how many people see the video versus how many people actually click it. So that's what that is. And then average view duration. My videos are normally about 8 to 10 minutes, if I had to assume, just because that's the Riot limit of how long the video can be, your interviews can be. So that's about what, 30-ish%. I don't know if that's good or not, to be honest, but it's a number. You can really see the difference when G2 and T1 are playing, or the West. On my channel, at least, I know other channels where the East is more of the focus, they'll have more views. But at least on my channel, 23,000 views in a day is absolutely insane. This is also something I wanted to show real quick. Out of those 165,000 views, about 14,000 of them came from outside of YouTube. So it wasn't YouTube suggesting it, whether it was an end screen or a suggested video. So like when you finish watching a video, there are like some videos on the side. Those are your suggested videos or your home screen, whatever that is. 4,000 of them came from Reddit. And I'm assuming that's the Yon interview that I posted on Reddit. Google search, I have like a guide for priority positions in quick play. Normally, that's sort of what comes from Google. You probably can even check. It's this green line here. Will it tell me? No, it won't tell me. X, I guess I posted a link or something. FM Korea, this is probably the T1 Gumayushi interview that I did. I know a lot of people ended up watching it, so I'm assuming that's where it's come from. I don't know what Samsung Internet for Android is. Discord, Naver, another Korean website, Discord, Naver.com. I have no idea what this is. YouTube, that doesn't seem outside. But in terms of like percentage-wise, it's not even 10% of the views. Now, again, I haven't really been pushing it out very much, but in general, that's how I find when I post on Reddit and Twitter. Kakao Talk, 8 people sent it on Kakao Talk, which is like WhatsApp, but in Korea, or Line, but in Korea. Yeah, there's been a lot of people actually sharing it themselves. I haven't done much of the sharing. So it's really cool that, 13,000 people found my videos outside of YouTube. So yeah, $240, 165,000 views later, 19 days of waking up in the middle of the night to do interviews. It was a rough 19 days, I will be honest. But overall, I enjoyed it. I'd do it again. And yeah, just wanted to give you guys sort of an idea of what happened. Again, like I said, I've looked at other smaller creators, and the entire year they make like $100, maybe not even that, like maybe average $10 a month, depending on who I watched. But the fact that in 1 month, in 19 days, not even the whole month, in 19 days, $240, pre-tax, obviously, that's pretty cool, and not what I was expecting. I didn't really expect to make much money. The fact that I made that much money is really cool. Not really worried about the money right now, but it's cool. I might be able to like buy a new monitor because I have like super old monitors, or a new microphone because this microphone has been acting up and I had a bunch of problems with it. Hiring, maybe paying people to do more edits, stuff like that. Just reinvest into the channel is really cool that I have that opportunity despite being so small. So I'm really appreciative. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button. I'm not sure if I'll be doing more stuff for like summer split or spring split that passed and things like that. But let me know if you guys enjoyed it. If you did, maybe I will make more of these.